Let me share with you something I believe deeply, something that comes from the core of who I am, something that I hope will ignite a fire in you. It's something I've realized over the years through experiences, through struggles, through victories, and even through defeat. Life isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. It's not meant to be smooth, without obstacles, without challenges, without the kind of pressure that makes you sweat, makes you doubt yourself, makes you question everything. But you know what? That's where the magic is. That's where the real growth happens. In the moments of struggle, in the moments where you think it's all over, where you're standing at the edge and the world seems to be closing in around you, that's when you find out who you really are. Now, it's easy to say that we want success, that we want to achieve something big, but do we really understand what that means? Do we understand what it takes to be successful? Success is not just about reaching the top of the mountain. It's not about being celebrated by everyone around you. It's not about the fame or the applause or the recognition. No, success is about overcoming every single obstacle that gets in your way, every single doubt that tries to stop you, and every single moment where life seems to be telling you to quit. It's about going through hell and coming out stronger, better, and more determined. It's about not giving up when everyone around you is giving in. The truth is that success doesn't come without sacrifice. You're going to have to make tough decisions. You're going to have to give up things you love. You're going to have to fight against the odds, against the noise, against the distractions, against the people who tell you that you can't do it. And here's the kicker: sometimes the biggest enemy is the person you see in the mirror. Sometimes the biggest hurdle is not what's going on outside, but what's happening inside. The doubts, the insecurities, the fear. That's where the real battle is fought. But let me tell you something. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep pushing, even when everything inside you is screaming to stop. Even when it feels like the world is against you, you've got to keep going. Because that's how you grow. That's how you become the person you were always meant to be. Growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. Growth happens when things are hard. When you have to dig deep. When you have to find strength that you didn't even know you had. That's when you truly understand who you are and what you're capable of. I remember a time in my life when things weren't going the way I planned. I was struggling. I was questioning everything. It felt like I was putting in all this work, all this effort, and nothing was coming through. But it was in those moments, in those darkest times, when I realized something crucial. I realized that the struggle wasn't meant to defeat me. It was meant to shape me. It was meant to shape me. It was meant to prepare me for something bigger, something greater. The kind of challenge that would require all of my strength, all of my willpower, and all of my heart. And that's what I want to tell you today. Life isn't going to give you a straight path. Life isn't going to hand you everything you want on a silver platter. It's going to challenge you. It's going to test you. But if you can keep your head in the game, if you can hold on tight when things get tough, if you can keep pushing forward when you want to quit, that's when you're going to see your breakthrough. That's when the doors you thought were closed will open up wide. That's when the light at the end of the tunnel will finally shine through. It's all about perseverance. It's all about resilience. It's about understanding that setbacks are not failures. Setbacks are setups for comebacks. You're not defeated by a setback. You're shaped, refined, and prepared for what's to come. The people who win, the people who succeed, the people who reach the top, those people don't get there by quitting. They don't get there by giving up at the first sign of trouble. They get there by showing up when it's hard. They get there by doing the work even when nobody's watching. They get there by trusting the process, by believing in themselves, even when everyone else tells them they're crazy. I've heard it said that success is a journey, not a destination. And it's true. The real success lies not in the achievements themselves, but in the person you become along the way. Success is about character. It's about integrity. It's about staying true to who you are, even when the world is trying to push you in a different direction. You see, there's a lot of people who get caught up in the hustle. They get caught up in the grind. But at the end of the day, it's not about how fast you go or how hard you work. It's about working with purpose. It's about having a vision and staying true to that vision no matter what obstacles come your way. And one thing I've learned is that you've got to have a clear sense of purpose. You've got to know what drives you. You've got to know why you're doing what you're doing. Because when you know your purpose, when you know your why, nothing can stop you. Nothing can shake you. No amount of rejection, no amount of failure, no amount of doubt can break you. Because you have a purpose that is greater than any obstacle, any setback, or any challenge that comes your way. So don't let the world tell you who you are. Don't let the opinions of others define your worth. Don't let the criticism, the doubt, the negativity of the world stop you from chasing your dreams. You have something inside of you that is greater than anything you'll face on the outside. You have a fire. You have a strength that is waiting to be unleashed, but you've got to tap into it. You've got to believe in it. You've got to feed it. And you've got to trust it. Because there's nothing more powerful than a person who truly believes in themselves. But let me be clear. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. It's going to take sacrifice. But if you stay true to your vision, if you keep pushing forward, if you keep fighting when it feels like everything is falling apart, you will make it. I promise you, you will make it. The road won't always be easy. There will be bumps. There will be failures. There will be times when you feel like quitting. But let me tell you something, if you can just hold on, if you can just keep pushing, if you can keep your eyes on the prize and never look back, you'll reach your destination. And when you get there, you'll realize something. You'll realize that all the struggles, all the pain, all the sacrifices, they were all worth it. Success is not about how fast you get there. It's about the journey. It's about how you handle the obstacles, how you handle the setbacks, and how you handle yourself when no one is watching. Because that's when the real character is built. That's when you become the person you were always meant to be. So take your struggles seriously. Take your challenges seriously. Take your dreams seriously. And never, ever give up on them. The world may not always be kind. It may not always be fair. But if you can stand tall, if you can hold your ground, if you can show up every single day and do the work, you will win. And it will be worth every single step of the journey. Because success isn't given, it's earned. It's earned through hard work. It's earned through sacrifice. It's earned through determination. And it's earned through never giving up on yourself, no matter how tough the road may get. And when you reach that point, when you've climbed your mountain, when you've overcome your struggles, and when you've stood the test of time, that's when you'll know the truth. You'll know that everything you've been through, everything you've fought for, every moment of doubt, every sacrifice, every failure, it was all worth it. Because you're not just looking at the success that you've achieved. You're looking at the person you've become. You're looking at the strength, the resilience, the character you've built. And that, my friend, is the real victory. That's the real success. So, don't stop now. Don't quit when it gets tough. Don't back down when the world tries to knock you down. Keep moving forward. Keep believing in yourself. Keep fighting for what you want. Keep pushing through the pain, through the struggles, through the fear. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one who can make your dreams a reality. And I promise you, if you keep going, if you keep fighting, you will reach the top. You will find the success you've been searching for. And when you do, you'll look back and realize it was all worth struggles. It's one word that most people try to avoid, something that many want to escape from. We see them as interruptions, roadblocks, and sometimes even as failures. We think of struggles as the kind of situations that bring us down, that stand in our way and make us question our purpose. And if we're being honest, who wants to go through tough times? Who wants to be knocked down again and again? The natural response is to fight against struggles, to resist them, to wish they would just disappear. But here's the thing. What if I told you that the very struggles you face are not your enemy, but your greatest teachers? What if the toughest times in your life were actually the moments that were shaping you into who you are meant to become? It's easy to want to run from challenges, to look for ways to avoid hardship. But the truth is, we don't grow during the easy times. Growth happens in the struggle. The real power is found when we embrace the difficulties, when we face the obstacles head-on instead of turning away from them. It's in these very moments of hardship that we learn the most about ourselves. It's in the moments where we feel defeated, where we feel like giving up, that we discover how strong, how resilient, and how capable we truly are. When we're faced with struggle, the instinct might be to quit, to throw in the towel, to say, "This is too hard. I can't do this." But let me ask you, have you ever looked back at a time when you were in a tough spot and realized that somehow, in the midst of the pain, you became stronger? Have you ever noticed that the most resilient people, the ones who stand tall in the face of adversity, are often the ones who have been through the most? It's because they've learned to embrace the struggle, to accept it as a part of the journey. The struggle is where the transformation happens. It's where you discover your real strength. In the face of a challenge, you have two choices. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. Too many times we make the mistake of thinking that struggle means we're weak, or that it's a sign we aren't good enough. But that's not true. Struggle means you're growing, even when it doesn't feel like it. It means you're pushing your limits, testing your boundaries, and seeing how much more you're capable of. You don't build muscles by lifting light weights. You build them by lifting heavier weights, by pushing yourself beyond what you thought was possible. The same goes for your mind, your spirit, and your character. The only way to develop real strength is to face struggles and push through them, no matter how heavy they feel. It's easy to look at others and think that their success came easily, that they just walked into their achievements without having to face any difficulties. But let me tell you something. Behind every success story, there's a hidden struggle. Every person you admire, every person who has reached a high point in their life has been through their own personal battles. They've had their moments of doubt. They've had their failures. They've faced rejection. They've been knocked down. But what sets them apart is that they didn't let those struggles define them. They didn't let those struggles stop them. Instead, they embraced them and used them as stepping stones to get where they are today. It's important to understand that struggles don't last forever. They are temporary. They come into your life, they test your resolve, and then they pass. But the lessons you learn from the struggle, the strength you gain from it, that stays with you. And the more you face these struggles, the more prepared you become for the next one. You become stronger. You become wiser. You become more resilient. Each struggle adds a layer to your character, building you up so that when the next challenge comes, you're even more equipped to handle it. Embracing the struggle doesn't mean you have to like it. It doesn't mean you have to be happy about it. Struggle is hard, it's uncomfortable, it's painful. But it does mean accepting that it's a part of life. It means understanding that without struggle, there is no progress. Without struggle, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no victory. The best things in life don't come easily. They come through hard work, perseverance, and the willingness to keep going, even when it feels like the world is trying to hold you back. What's important to remember is that struggles don't define you unless you let them. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not the things that go wrong. You are the person who rises after every fall. You are the person who keeps going when everything inside you wants to give up. You are the person who chooses to see challenges as opportunities, not as threats. It's your response to the struggle that matters. It's how you handle the hard times that will determine your success in the long run. One of the most powerful things about embracing the struggle is that it forces you to find new ways of thinking, new ways of solving problems, and new ways of approaching life. When you're in the middle of a tough situation, you're often forced to think outside the box, to find creative solutions that you might not have thought of otherwise. Struggles push you to dig deeper, to think harder, and to be more resourceful. They force you to become better, more innovative, and more determined. And let's not forget the role of perseverance. Struggles test your perseverance, your ability to keep moving forward, even when things aren't going your way. It's easy to give up when you face a challenge that seems insurmountable. But true strength lies in continuing to move forward, even when you don't have all the answers, even when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Perseverance is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. It's what separates those who make it from those who don't. You can't build resilience without testing your limits. You can't build perseverance without being pushed to your breaking point and choosing to keep going. Struggles also teach you humility. When things go wrong, it's easy to blame others or to point fingers. But struggles force you to take responsibility for your own life, for your own decisions. They remind you that nothing is guaranteed, that success doesn't just fall into your lap, and that no one is exempt from facing tough times. Humility allows you to learn from your struggles, to see them as opportunities for growth rather than as obstacles that are meant to stop you. It's a humbling experience to realize that no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you prepare, life will still throw challenges your way. But how you respond to those challenges is what matters most. Another key aspect of embracing the struggle is understanding that it builds your character. Every time you face adversity and push through it, you are building a stronger version of yourself. Character is formed in the face of difficulty. It's easy to be kind when life is easy. It's easy to be patient when everything is going your way. But when you're struggling, when things aren't going as planned, that's when your true character is revealed. Do you give up? Do you become bitter? Or do you choose to rise above the situation, to remain focused on your goals and to continue pursuing your dreams? The struggles you face build the kind of person you are, shaping you into someone who can weather any storm that comes your way. And in the end, embracing the struggle makes the victories even sweeter. There's nothing quite like the feeling of achieving something that you've worked so hard for, something that you fought for, something that you've earned through your struggles. The joy of reaching your goal is not just about the end result. It's about knowing the journey you took to get there, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifice, and the resilience it took to push through the tough times. Those moments of victory are made all the more special because of the struggles you had to face along the way. So, when the struggles come, and they will come, don't run from them. Don't try to avoid them. Don't wish them away. Embrace them. Welcome them. Understand that they are an integral part of your journey. And know that when you come out on the other side, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more capable than you ever thought possible. It's not the easy times that define us. It's the struggles we face, the battles we fight, and the strength we find within ourselves to keep going. There's something incredibly powerful about having a clear sense of purpose. It's not just a guiding principle or a set of lofty ideals, it's the energy that fuels you when things get tough, the compass that points you in the right direction when the world seems uncertain. Purpose is what keeps you going when everything else falls apart, when doubt creeps in and when life throws challenges your way. But how many of us truly understand the weight and the significance of having a purpose? How many of us wake up every morning with a clear understanding of why we do what we do? Purpose is more than just a goal. It's the driving force behind everything we accomplish. And it's what helps us push forward even when we feel exhausted, discouraged, or overwhelmed. In the early stages of our lives, we might not have a clear sense of what our purpose is. We might be searching, still figuring things out. That's normal. But what's important is that we take the time to explore, to reflect, and to seek what truly matters to us. Without purpose, we move through life like a ship without a rudder, tossed around by the waves, unsure of our direction. But when we have purpose, it's like having a lighthouse in the distance, a beacon that tells us where we're headed and gives us a reason to keep going, even when the journey is difficult. Purpose is what turns ordinary tasks into meaningful actions. Think about a time when you were working towards something that really mattered to you. You were driven. You were focused. Even though the work was difficult, even though there were challenges, you found a way to keep going. That's the power of purpose. When you have a sense of why you're doing something, when you understand the impact it will have, it no longer feels like a chore or a burden. You find motivation in the process, and the journey itself becomes part of the reward. One of the things that makes purpose so powerful is its ability to transform how we see the world around us. When you are driven by a clear sense of purpose, you begin to see opportunities where others might see obstacles. You start to look at challenges not as problems to be avoided, but as stepping stones that can bring you closer to achieving what you've set out to do. Purpose shifts your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Instead of feeling defeated when things don't go as planned, you find ways to pivot, to adjust, and to learn from the experience. Another key aspect of purpose is that it provides resilience. Life is filled with unexpected twists and turns. There will always be setbacks, detours, and moments when things don't go the way you envisioned. That's part of the process. But when you are clear about your purpose, those setbacks no longer feel like dead ends. They're simply bumps in the road, challenges to overcome on the path towards something greater. When purpose is at the core of what you're doing, you are more likely to rise above the hardships. Your passion for the cause is stronger than the temporary frustration of a setback. You start to understand that failure is not a reflection of your worth or abilities, but simply part of the journey. And because you know what you're fighting for, you dig deeper, push harder, and keep moving forward despite the obstacles. Purpose is also what helps you set priorities in a world full of distractions. We live in a time where there are countless things competing for our attention. Social media, the news, and the pressures of everyday life can all pull us in a million different directions. Without purpose, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, to lose sight of what's truly important. But when you have purpose, you're able to sift through the distractions and focus on what really matters. Purpose helps you make decisions that align with your long-term goals, not just your immediate desires. It allows you to say no to things that won't bring you closer to your vision and say yes to the actions and opportunities that are in line with your purpose. When you live with purpose, your actions become intentional. Every move you make, every choice you make becomes a step toward fulfilling your purpose. You become more focused, more determined, and more driven. And when you have that level of focus, you can't help but make progress. Progress isn't always about making huge leaps. It's about consistent, intentional steps in the right direction. When your actions are aligned with your purpose, progress becomes inevitable, even if it's incremental. Each day becomes an opportunity to take a small step forward, and over time, those steps add up to something significant. Purpose also fuels your passion. Passion is that fire within you, that deep desire to pursue something with all your heart. When you have a clear sense of purpose, passion naturally follows. Purpose and passion are inseparable. They feed off of each other. Your passion drives you to pursue your purpose with everything you've got, and your purpose gives your passion meaning and direction. When you find something you're truly passionate about, the work no longer feels like work. It becomes a labor of love. You wake up excited, ready to put in the effort, because you know that what you're doing matters. That passion is the energy that propels you through the tough times, the moments of doubt, and the obstacles that come your way. Purpose also brings clarity. In a world that is constantly changing, it's easy to get lost in the chaos, to lose track of where you're going and what you're supposed to be doing. But when you have purpose, everything becomes clearer. Decisions become easier to make because you have a solid foundation to stand on. You know what aligns with your values and what doesn't. You know where to put your time and energy and where to draw the line. Purpose simplifies life. It eliminates the noise and brings focus to the things that truly matter. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. All of a sudden, everything becomes more visible, more manageable, and more attainable. Another incredible thing about purpose is that it connects you to something greater than yourself. When you're driven by purpose, it's no longer just about you. It's about the impact you can have on the world, the people around you, and the future. Purpose has the power to create a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond personal achievement. It's about contributing to something larger than your own desires, about making a difference. And when you're working towards something that has meaning, something that touches the lives of others, your motivation intensifies. You realize that your actions can create ripples, that your efforts can inspire others to find their own purpose. The ripple effect of purpose is far-reaching and can inspire a community of like-minded individuals who are all working toward a common goal. Purpose also helps you to measure success differently. In a society that often equates success with wealth, fame, or status, purpose offers a deeper, more meaningful way to define what success truly is. When your life is guided by purpose, success is not about external accolades. It's about internal fulfillment. It's about knowing that you gave your best effort, that you made a difference, that you stayed true to your values and principles, no matter what the world says. Success is about growth, about becoming the best version of yourself, and about finding meaning in the work you do. Purpose allows you to redefine what success looks like, freeing you from the pressures and comparisons that often come with conventional definitions of achievement. And perhaps one of the most significant aspects of purpose is the sense of direction it provides. In times of uncertainty, when everything feels up in the air, purpose serves as your North Star, guiding you through the fog. Life can be overwhelming with so many choices and paths to take, but when you have purpose, you know where you're headed. You know what matters most, and that clarity gives you confidence. It helps you make decisions with certainty, even in the face of uncertainty. You no longer feel adrift because you have something to hold on to. You know where you're going, and that sense of direction helps you weather the storms that come your way. Purpose drives progress because it gives you the energy, the focus, and the resilience to keep going, even when times get tough. It's the foundation that supports all of your actions and the force that propels you forward. When you have purpose, there is no challenge too great, no obstacle too high, and no dream too big. Purpose fuels your passion, strengthens your resilience, and helps you stay focused on what truly matters. It simplifies life by cutting through the distractions and guiding you toward what's important. And as you keep moving toward that purpose, progress becomes inevitable. The journey may not always be easy, but it will always be meaningful. And at the end of it all, when you look back, you will realize that the purpose-driven path you took was the one that led to the greatest fulfillment and success. There are moments in every person's life when they stand at a crossroads, when they are faced with a choice, a challenge, or a difficult path to follow. During these moments, one question arises, can I do this? It's a simple question, but its answer carries enormous weight. Because the truth is, the answer to that question, whether it's yes or no, can shape the course of your life. Self-belief, the unwavering confidence in your own abilities, is not just a motivational catchphrase, it is the core foundation of everything you will ever achieve in life. It is the force that empowers you to rise above doubts, face challenges head-on, and push through when the world tells you to stop. Self-belief is your power. It is the fuel that keeps you going when others don't believe in you. It's the thing that helps you rise from failure and find the courage to keep moving forward. Without self-belief, even the most talented, gifted, and capable individuals can falter. But with it, there is no limit to what you can achieve. The most successful people, the ones who have overcome incredible odds, aren't necessarily the ones with the most skill, the most resources, or the most advantages. They are the ones who believed, deep down, that they could succeed, even when no one else did. They had an unshakable belief in themselves, and it carried them through the darkest of times. At its core, self-belief is about trust in your own potential, trust in your ability to learn and grow, and trust in the value you bring to the world. It's understanding that you have everything inside of you to overcome the obstacles ahead, and that every setback is simply a lesson in disguise. The problem, however, is that many of us struggle with self-belief. We let doubt creep in. We listen to the voices, whether they are our own or others, that tell us we're not good enough, that we're not capable, or that our dreams are too big. These voices, if left unchecked, can paralyze us, keeping us from reaching our full potential. But the truth is, self-belief is not something you're born with. It's something you develop over time through experiences, through resilience, and through a relentless commitment to yourself and your goals. It's easy to feel small in a world that seems so vast, especially when you are constantly comparing yourself to others. Social media, advertisements, the pressure to keep up with the expectations of society, these things can all make you feel as if you're not measuring up. But let me tell you something, comparison is the thief of self-belief. The moment you start measuring your worth against someone else's journey is the moment you give away your power. Everyone has their own path, their own timeline, and their own struggles. Just because someone else appears to be further ahead doesn't mean that you're falling behind. Your success, your greatness is not defined by anyone else but you. When you stop comparing and start focusing on your own path, you reclaim the power that is rightfully yours. The first step in building self-belief is acknowledging that you are worthy of success. Far too often we hold ourselves back because we don't believe we deserve to achieve the things we dream of. We think, who am I to succeed? What makes me different from anyone else? The reality is that you have just as much right to success as anyone else. You have the capacity to be extraordinary. But first, you must acknowledge that you are worthy of it. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, or how many times you failed. You deserve to win. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to succeed. The minute you internalize that truth, the minute you believe that you have a right to the success you dream of, that is the moment your self-belief begins to grow. Another important aspect of self-belief is the understanding that failure is not the end. In fact, it's often the beginning of success. Too many people are afraid to try because they fear failure. They think that if they fail, it means they're not good enough. But failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of the fact that you tried, that you dared to take a risk, that you were brave enough to step outside of your comfort zone. It is through failure that we learn, grow, and develop the skills necessary for success. Every successful person has faced failure. Every successful person has had moments when things didn't go as planned. The difference is that they didn't let failure define them. They used it as a stepping stone to get better, to refine their approach, and to come back stronger. When you believe in yourself, failure becomes less of a fear and more of a lesson. It no longer feels like a setback, but rather an opportunity to improve. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof of your inadequacy, you begin to see them as part of the process. Each time you fail and rise again, you strengthen your belief in your ability to keep going, and with each step you get closer to achieving your ultimate goals. Self-belief also requires the courage to take risks. If you want to achieve anything of significance, you must be willing to step outside your comfort zone and face the unknown. This is where many people falter. They want to achieve big things, but they're afraid to take the first step because of the uncertainty that comes with it. It's the fear of the unknown, the fear of making a mistake, the fear of rejection. But without risk, there is no reward. Self-belief is what gives you the courage to take that first step, to move forward even when the outcome is unclear. When you believe in your abilities, you know that no matter the outcome, you will learn and grow from the experience. It's this belief that propels you to try again and again and again. When you believe in yourself, you also begin to set higher standards. You no longer settle for mediocrity. You know that you are capable of achieving extraordinary things, so you set your sights higher. You aim for goals that challenge you, that stretch you beyond what you thought was possible. And as you strive toward those higher goals, you develop the discipline, the work ethic, and the resilience needed to reach them. Self-belief is not about settling for what's easy, it's about pushing yourself to be better, to do better, and to strive for greatness, even when it feels difficult. One of the most powerful things about self-belief is that it doesn't just impact you, it impacts everyone around you. When you believe in yourself, others begin to believe in you too. Your confidence becomes contagious. People are drawn to your energy, your passion, and your determination. Your belief in yourself can inspire others to believe in themselves. As you rise, you lift others with you. When you demonstrate that anything is possible through self-belief, you become a living example of what can be achieved. Your success becomes not just about you, but about the impact you have on those around you. Moreover, self-belief allows you to see the bigger picture. It helps you recognize that the journey toward your goals isn't always a straight line, but that it is worth it in the end. With self-belief, you're able to navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. You understand that success is not immediate. It is not guaranteed. But with patience, persistence, and an unwavering belief in yourself, you know that you will reach your destination. Self-belief helps you see the long-term rewards of hard work, sacrifice, and commitment. It gives you the ability to focus on your goals without being distracted by temporary setbacks or short-term struggles. Believing in yourself is not always easy. It's a continuous practice, something that requires effort and intention. Some days will be harder than others. There will be moments of doubt, moments when you question whether you're capable or worthy of success. But that's where the power of self-belief lies. Even in those moments, self-belief is what keeps you grounded. It's what helps you quiet the inner critic, silence the doubts, and keep moving forward despite the fears. It's the constant reminder that you are enough, that you have what it takes, and that your dreams are valid. The key to unlocking your potential, to achieving anything you desire, lies in your ability to believe in yourself. The world will doubt you, people will question your abilities, and obstacles will appear. But through it all, one thing can never be taken away from you: the power of self-belief. When you truly believe in yourself, nothing is impossible. You become unstoppable. Success is not something that happens overnight. It's not handed to you on a silver platter, nor is it the result of a single lucky break. No, success is built over time, shaped by countless small decisions, relentless effort, and a commitment to pushing forward, even when it feels like nothing is happening. In the pursuit of success, two of the most important elements that will determine how far you go are consistency and sacrifice. These are not always the most glamorous aspects of success. In fact, they are often the most overlooked or underestimated. But without them, success is nothing more than a distant dream, an aspiration that ends just out of reach. Consistency and sacrifice are the true engines that drive you toward your goals, and they have the power to turn ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Consistency is the key that unlocks the door to mastery. It is the discipline to keep going, to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't immediate, and even when you're tempted to quit. It's the ability to push through those moments of doubt, frustration, and fatigue, and to stay committed to your path, regardless of the obstacles in your way. Consistency isn't about having one great day or achieving something remarkable. Once it's about the cumulative impact of repeated effort over time. It's about committing to something and sticking with it, day in and day out, for weeks, months, and even years. The truth is, success is a marathon, not a sprint. And in order to win the race, you need to be consistent in every aspect of your journey. Think about any person who has achieved something significant in their life, whether it's in business, sports, art, or any other field. What separates them from everyone else is not necessarily extraordinary talent, a stroke of luck, or even a breakthrough moment. What sets them apart is their ability to show up and do the work day after day. They are relentless in their pursuit of improvement, constantly refining their craft, learning from their mistakes, and adapting to the challenges that come their way. It is this consistency that, over time, compounds to create the level of success they ultimately achieve. Consistency requires patience. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. We live in an age of instant gratification, where everything seems to be just a click away. But success doesn't work that way. It's the small, consistent actions that build up over time that lead to lasting success. Imagine you're working toward a goal, and after a few weeks, you don't see any tangible progress. You may feel like throwing in the towel, but this is where consistency matters most. It's about staying the course, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Every small step you take, every effort you put in, is one step closer to your goal, even if you can't immediately see it. Consistency also allows you to build momentum. Momentum is a powerful force. Once you've started taking consistent action toward a goal, even when things are tough, that momentum begins to work in your favor. The more you do something, the easier it becomes. The more you show up, the more progress you make. the key is to keep going. The moment you stop, the momentum halts, and you have to start from scratch again. But if you keep pushing, keep showing up, and keep doing the work, that momentum will carry you forward. It's like pushing a heavy boulder up a hill. It's difficult at first, but once you've moved it just a little, it starts to roll on its own. This is the magic of consistency. It creates momentum, and with momentum comes progress. However, consistency alone is not enough to guarantee success. It's not just about showing up, it's about showing up with purpose and determination. Success demands sacrifice. It demands that you give up something in order to achieve something greater. This is where many people fail. They want the rewards of success, but they are not willing to pay the price. Success requires sacrifice, whether it's time, comfort, security, or other things that might seem important in the short term, but are insignificant in the long run. Sacrifice is not always easy, but it is necessary. In order to gain what you want, you must be willing to give up something in return. And the more you sacrifice, the closer you get to your goal. Sacrifice often means forgoing immediate pleasure or convenience in favor of long-term gain. It might mean sacrificing time with family and friends to focus on your work. It might mean giving up certain luxuries or indulgences in order to invest in your future. It might even mean sacrificing your sense of comfort, pushing yourself beyond what feels easy or natural in order to achieve something greater. The sacrifices you make in the short term will pay off in the long run, but you have to be willing to make those sacrifices consistently. One of the most powerful forms of sacrifice is the willingness to let go of old habits and mindsets that no longer serve you. Change is difficult. It's easier to hold on to the familiar, even if it's not helping you move forward. But if you want to achieve success, you must be willing to sacrifice your old ways of thinking and doing things. This may mean confronting your fears, overcoming limiting beliefs, and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. It might mean sacrificing your pride in order to learn from others, or giving up the safety of the familiar in order to take risks that will lead you to your goals. The greatest successes often come from those who were willing to sacrifice what they thought they knew and embrace the discomfort of change. In addition to sacrificing your time and energy, success also often requires you to sacrifice your expectations. It's easy to get caught up in the fantasy of how success should look. We have idealized versions of what success is, and we often expect it to happen in a certain way or by a certain time. But reality doesn't always match the ideal. The road to success is rarely linear, and it's almost always longer than you expect. Sacrificing your expectations means being willing to accept that things might not happen the way you envision them, but trusting that as long as you stay consistent and committed, success will come in its own time, in its own way. It means accepting that there will be bumps in the road, moments of frustration, and times when things feel uncertain. But it also means trusting that every sacrifice you make, every consistent effort you put forth, is moving you closer to the success you seek. Success is also about learning from your sacrifices and mistakes. As you continue on your journey, there will be moments when you question if it's worth it. There will be times when you feel the weight of the sacrifices you've made and wonder if the end result will be worth it. This is when your consistency and sacrifice will be truly tested. It's easy to remain committed when things are going well, but real success is born in the moments of doubt, when you have to keep going despite the challenges and the fear of failure. Those are the moments when consistency and sacrifice matter most. When you're able to keep moving forward despite the pain or the struggle, that's when you know you're on the right path. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the ones with the best circumstances, the most resources, or the greatest advantages. They are the ones who have mastered the art of consistency and sacrifice. They are the ones who have put in the hours, made the sacrifices, and stayed committed to their goals, even when it felt impossible. They are the ones who never gave up, who never stopped showing up, and who never stopped sacrificing for what they believed in. It is this unrelenting commitment that separates those who achieve success from those who merely dream of it. Consistency and sacrifice go hand in hand. They are the building blocks of success, the two pillars that support your journey toward your dreams. Without consistency, your efforts will be scattered and unproductive. Without sacrifice, your efforts will lack the depth and commitment required for meaningful progress. But when you combine both, when you commit to showing up every day and are willing to give up what is necessary for your long-term goals, success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. It may not happen immediately, and it may not happen in the way you expect, but as long as you stay consistent, as long as you're willing to make the sacrifices necessary, success will be the natural outcome.